I remember that I've heard one of those in the northern Cascades, but here they're called stickmen. We were told to never pick up or take any hand-made objects we found in the Chuckanut foothills. These woods were historically avoided by the local tribes for generations before white settlers arrived. The forest there is considered to be haunted and filled with evil spirits and dark ancient entities. The elders tell us that the stickmen are evil spirits. They come in many forms. Sometimes they look like a shaman. Other times they can present as a half-human, half-deer, or a demon with long, spindly limbs. Unlike Sasquatches, who can be good, benign or mean, but not evil, as they dutifully watch over the forest. Stickmen are malevolent, evil beings that delight in terrorizing their victims and seeming to gain strength from inflicting suffering from the many curses they spread. We were told to never whistle while hiking or visiting in that part of the woods, and that we should leave the forest immediately if we ever heard whistles from depths of the forest. They will sometimes throw sticks and rocks at trespassers in their woods. There was even a recent story I read on the local about some hikers who found a strange doll made of hair and twigs and bark at the side of a trail that they were hiking. They brought it back home only to be immediately faced with a flurry of paranormal activity. Rocks being thrown at them, objects being thrown/moved around the house, eerie whistling in the night, and sightings of humanoid apparitions that morphed into monstrous long-limbed, malformed creatures darting through the shadows in their front yard at night. After many months of intensifying terror and weirdness, the hikers eventually decided to return the doll to the place in the woods it was originally found, but it was too late. They had been cursed and suffered many unfortunate accidents and illnesses until they moved back east to stay with their families. I have my own true story that occurred in the North Cascades last winter. Just FYI, the North Cascades are sparsely populated and the landscape is dense forest. I was driving my younger brothers and boyfriend home on a road that cut through the forest. About 200 m ahead of us, closer to a street light, I saw what looked like 3 tall, slender, amber-colored, human-shaped things holding hands across the road. I internally panicked because I didn't understand what I was seeing, and I didn't know if I needed to slam on my brakes. But I was afraid to stop or speed up to ram through whatever those things were. A few seconds pass, and those things/shapes weren't there anymore. It all happened so quickly. I assumed it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, so I didn't say anything. But my youngest brother piped up from the back and asked, "What were those things on the road?" It freaked us out that the two of us saw the same thing. It was weird and I couldn't really explain it. I would have been more likely to dismiss this as something with a logical explanation, as I'm a skeptic about folklore/paranormal stuff. But something else happened the previous night around the same area. I was about half asleep next to my BF at my parents' house when I heard this whooshing sound outside. It got louder and louder to the point where the only explanation I considered was that a plane was about to crash right outside the house, although I knew that couldn't be true. The sound subsided a few minutes later, and I fell asleep. When I woke up the next day, I definitely thought I probably just dreamt how intense the sound was, and I didn't mention it. However, when my brother woke up, that same brother who saw the same things on the road as I did, he mentioned to the family about how it sounded like a plane was going to crash right outside of his window the night before. We were the only two who heard the roaring noise. I'm still a bit of a skeptic, but the circumstances those 2 nights shook me up, and I definitely think something weird was going on.
I remember that the Starvation Heights is about a real spa in Olalla, near Gig Harbor, where the woman promising restored health and enlightenment was actually just starving her wealthy clients to death, then stealing their money, which was easier to do in the early 1900s. One of her victims was the mother of Ivar Haglund, who grew up to open our famous Ivar's Acres of Clams, a Washington staple as far as restaurants go. I watched when the local news did a story at the location, and they held microphones near the ground and picked up some spooky voices, including a clear, "Help me. I don't know if I believe in ghosts or not." So it certainly could have been my brain making order out of nonsense sounds, as our brains are wont to do.